Hi there, Coach Sage Canaday of VO2 Max Productions here with another training talk, or actually I should say OTQ video log update. This is kind of my last rant video before the Houston Marathon this weekend, January 17th. It's on a Sunday. Flying out to Houston pretty soon, so I thought I'd get a video in. But yeah, you know, training's been going as well as expected. I wrote out a little plan after my disaster at Cal International 4.5 weeks ago. And you know, you don't have a whole lot of time to recover, and then kind of you're just basically trying to maintain fitness when you only have 4 or 5 weeks between marathons. Actually, it was 5.5 weeks ago. Sorry, I had 6 weeks. The space between LA Marathon and Boston Marathon was only 5 weeks, so it was a tight turnaround, and I learned that you can pull off a good double, but just kind of reflecting over my whole quest on this OTQ series. This is going to be my last shot. Houston's the very last day, the deadline for the Olympic trials, which of course are 4 weeks later only in LA. So I'm going to be totally shot in the foot and beat up even if I do qualify this weekend, but I'm still going for it. It's my #1 goal. I got lucky. They changed the standard to 2:19 flat now. So they did that right after Cal. It was really weird. The IAAF Marathon Olympic standard changed to 2:19, so the USATF, the US governing body, decided that they couldn't have the Olympic trials standard be slower than the worldwide Olympic standard. So that's why they decided to change it to 2:19. So congrats to some of the people that got in. A lot of guys did get in. Unfortunately, that means I missed it by 12 seconds at Boston, but the benefit of hindsight, you know, I would have probably gone out a little slower at Cal International if I knew I only had to run 2:19. Instead of pressing a 1:08.20 through the half, I probably would have gone out 1:09 flat. But I could do that at Houston now, and hopefully the weather and my fitness will be in the ballpark, and I could pull that off. But we'll see. You know, it's been a tough journey. It's been challenging, but it's also, I've learned a lot. And you know, mixing up the road marathons with ultras like Speed Goat and Comrades and UTMB was hard. It was definitely a challenge. Speed Goat went well. And then, you know, the injury at UTMB was a huge blow, just getting stitches after that and the recovery. But we'll rewind a bit. I've run 3 road marathons in 2015 that were all within 50 seconds of each other. So consistently too slow though. And it was on totally different courses and totally different weather conditions. LA was pretty warm. It was on the warmer side, at least coming from Boulder in the winter in March. And it was a hillier course than I thought. It was challenging, and I ran a 2:20.02, just pretty much straight 5:20s all the way. Didn't have that gear to really shift, but didn't blow up or bonk. 8th place in the US Championship. I'll take that, but you know, it wasn't a trials qualifier. Max King, an ultra runner, got his trials qualifier there. That was tough as nails. It was a good performance. Of course, he ran 2:17 in that race. His PR is 2:14, so it kind of just shows you a lot of guys were 3 minutes off their PR at LA this year. But the next race, I bounced back really fast. I had to do Boston. Unfortunately, it was a crappy weather year at Boston. We had like this 10-mile-an-hour headwind pretty much the whole way, and it was cold and rainy. I don't care about the rain and cold as much, but the headwind just killed me, especially because I was by myself for a good 7 miles in the middle of the race, just trying to play catch up. But you know, 16th place there overall, one of the top Americans, and a really well executed race, probably the best marathon of my career. The time doesn't show for it, 2:19.12, and you know, missed this trial standard by 12 seconds on a tough day at Boston. But yeah, I'm really proud of that race still, and it was a really tough day in terms of the weather. But I fought hard, I competed well, and I executed my plan. My fitness was there, and it was only 5 weeks after LA. So, you know, it can be done. After that, I got really beat up, and I blew up had a rough race at Comrades, kind of blew a gasket. And, you know, you pay for it. Doing road marathons, it's harder to recover than ultras on the trail sometimes even. And then going into UTMB, really had to shift gears, get my mountain legs back, and that was a big challenge. But speed goat went well. UTMB, I sacrificed. We had fun in Chamonix for a month in the summer, training for that, and of course it was a disaster as I fell and busted my knee. And it wasn't the cut, again, it wasn't the stitches, it was the integrity of the knee joint. My knee just ballooned up and I absolutely could not move downhill. You know, they don't bring out the helicopter for no reason. But that was embarrassing. That took a while to recover from, and I thought I had a good build up before Cal International. But as a coach, someone to coach myself, Sandy helps me, but I take the blame here for screwing up my fitness before that. I think I probably shouldn't have raced the Big Sur half as a tune-up, and then I got really ambitious with some workouts, pushed a little too hard, too much, and I think my muscle fibers were exhausted. So I came out at Cal just feeling horrible the whole way, and I've already gone into detail of that race recap, but it was a pretty bad disaster. I was working really hard really early, and so inevitably I hit the wall really hard. It did take till about mile 22, 23, but went from running 5:15 to 5:20 mile pace to running over 6-minute mile pace, which for the last 3 miles in a row is a total disaster when you're counting every second. You can't fade off that much. A slow, gradual bleed off, so to speak, with the mile splits or kilometer splits is really the epitome of a well-executed marathon race. And when I ran my PR of 2:16:52, 5:13, 5:12 mile pace, I remember my slowest mile, I think I kept them all under 5:30, even at the very end. I was starting to run in the 5:20s, but you know, I had some early 5 flat splits early on. That was at Rock and Roll San Diego 2011. But yeah, I think, you know, consistency is really key. Going out more conservatively, having that extra minute to play with is really going to help in Houston. Fingers crossed for the weather and my health. I'm trying to eat really healthy. More fruits and vegetables always helps to get a lot of antioxidants in, and just eat really clean and hope that it boosts your immune system so you don't get a cold or sickness. Of course, if someone with the flu or a cold virus sneezes on me and I wipe my nose, or I eat some mishandled food, or I don't wash my hands well right before I eat, could still get sick. It's always a risk, always really scary. It's happened before. I like to think that a plant-based diet though really does boost your immune system, and it's Sandy never gets sick. I'm the one who gets sick sometimes, but you boost your immune system, trying to sleep as much as possible going into a race, a marathon like this. I get pretty jittery, but I'm gonna travel out there to Houston, give it my best shot, and if I fail, I know I tried. It'll be my 4th marathon in a 10-month span. It's second marathon in the last 6 weeks, and yeah, Houston's a great course. I've run it before. It was actually my very first debut marathon. I ran the Houston Marathon in 2007. Had a great experience there. The weather's usually pretty good. We're keeping our fingers crossed. The only concern is the wind. The night before, there's a little storm coming in with a little bit of wind, maybe up to 15, 20 miles an hour. Hopefully that dies down in the morning. The race starts at 7 a.m. Sunday morning, January 17th. I'll tweet out my tracking number when I get my bib number and all that cool stuff. Hope to see you out there if you're running Houston, the half or the full. I wish you the best of luck with your taper. And yeah, we'll see you on the starting line. And thanks so much for all the comments. Oh, one more thing actually. If someone or you're watching the Houston Marathon and you happen to see me run by, if you could whip out your phone or camera or whatever and film a little clip, that would be really great, because then maybe I could put together a little video actually showing the race unfold, since yeah, I don't know if I'll get any footage, but that would be really, really appreciated. You could tweet it at me, or that's probably the best way to contact me, is send me a tweet with a direct link, or we could figure out a way then to get the footage. But I'll give you credit on a YouTube video if I get enough of them, or any pictures would be great. Really appreciate all the supportive comments for this whole quest. It's been a long series. Yeah, this is what it all comes down to. So pressure's on. Again, if I fail, I'm gonna be pretty devastated. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be one of those things that's gonna bother me kind of for the rest of my life a little bit. But you have goals. They're ambitious sometimes, and sometimes you fall just short of them and you miss them. And no regrets. You give it your best shot, and sometimes it doesn't materialize, sometimes it does, sometimes you get injured, sometimes you get sick, sometimes the weather's bad. So no excuses, I guess. Those are kind of excuses, but I gave it my best shot. And in the future, I'm still going to try to qualify for 2020 Olympic trials. If they don't, as long as they don't make the standard something really fast, like 2:15, then I might just give up. But really eager to get back to the ultra trail mountain running scene and do ultras. It's kind of what I'm mainly sponsored for anyway. I'm not gonna make the Olympic team in the marathon. Kind of gave up that dream, but being at the trials is a huge goal, and it's something that I've really enjoyed the last 8 years, going to the Olympic trials in 2007 and 2012. So it's there, and I'd really love to make it. Again, if I do make it, I'm gonna be pretty beat up because it's 4 weeks later, but it's just being there is kind of like my Olympics. So it's a good achievable goal, and hopefully you have your own goals in running, whether it's finishing your first marathon or half marathon, or just trying to knock off some time off your race distance, whatever races you're doing, ultras, trails, road races, 5K, 10K, and yeah, or trying to qualify for Boston or something like that. It's a fun challenge, and it keeps things interesting. It gives you focus in your training. So that's kind of where I get my kicks out of running and training. So I've been enjoying the process, I guess, so to speak, and I've been lucky that I haven't given myself an overuse injury yet. But that's part of staying healthy, trying to train smart. I have overtrained, but trying to stay dialed with nutrition, healthy eating, healthy clean eating, a lot of plants. We'll get into more of that later this year, but thanks so much. This is a long rant, long vlog. I really do appreciate all the Patreon donors. Again, it's been a dream come true. I really want to up the game especially when I get back to the trails and mountains, with some epic footage this spring and summer and fall. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for subscribing, sharing us on social media. Hope your training's going well, and stay tuned for more VO2 Max Productions.